In this video, I'm going to talk about why is it that you are an empath and you didn't become a narcissist, even though you may have grown up in a home where there was all kinds of abuse, including narcissistic abuse, emotional abuse, and you are empathic and sensitive and intuitive, and you may have siblings that are narcissistic, and you have different degrees. So in this video, I'm going to talk about why you're an empath and you didn't become a narcissist, even though you may have grown up in an environment that was very traumatic and difficult. I'm Dr. Meg Haworth. I'm a transpersonal psychologist and holistic nutritional chef, and I help women abuse survivors heal the connection between trauma and illness in the body with emotional release therapy, and also food to support the body to heal itself while you're going through your healing process. So why is it that you're an empath and you didn't become a narcissist? And I think it's key right here to explain that empaths and narcissists have that thing in common where they have trauma in their past. And that's why they trauma bond when you get into a relationship with a narcissist if you're an empath. So you became an empath. Well, there are different reasons why you might have become an empath. One is you're maybe just wired that way. You're just wired to be more kind, compassionate, caring. You're wired to feel the things that other people feel. But also I think there's a perception issue going on here. So if your perception that of what you witnessed as a child, you watched this thing going on in your life, you watched the parents or caregivers act and react in certain ways, and you may have looked at them and said, you know what, I'm never going to be like that, and I'm never going to do to others what they're doing. And so you may have made that decision, and that creates that perception now that you will always look at yourself or look at the situation, or that you may start with that thought, or that's where that introspective thinking begins, is like, nope, so I'm going to examine why I'm this way and not be this, and work through this. And so you're going to have that driving force in you. Empaths always have this driving force where they want to work on themselves, they want to help themselves, they want to heal themselves, and then they want to help heal other people. It's a natural response to being empathic, is wanting to help other people. It doesn't mean you don't have any narcissistic traits, because you will likely have that, but you're going to examine that because you're introspective. Now, a narcissist on the total end of the spectrum has a completely different experience. They look at what's going on and they just cut it off. They cut off their love. They cut off receiving love. They cut off really, truly giving love. They learn to manipulate to get what they want. They put things above people, and it becomes a very, very different experience for them. They're not introspective. There's no way they're going to look at themselves, because looking at themselves would mean they would have to face the shame that they're feeling. On the other hand, an empath is like, I'm going to face the shame that I'm feeling. This is hard. And, once you wake up and you start going through this whole process, it takes time. It's not something that just happens overnight. But as you dig deeper, you're going to get deep into the shame, because shame drives the empath and shame drives the narcissist, but it drives them into very, very different ways. It drives the narcissist to disconnect and stay disconnected, and it drives the empath to connect and keep reconnecting in order to do the healing. And usually that's why we become healers and helpers. So there's so much more I could be saying in this video, but I don't want to get too complicated and get too deep into this. But why you are an empath has to do with many different things, and just feel what resonates for you. If you're an empath, you're intuitive, you're sensitive. You may not be really in touch with your intuition because you're still really in your trauma and in your awakening and in your healing process. And remember, it's a process. I love the word to heal because it means it's the process of getting well. That's the definition of healing, the process of getting well. So why you're an empath and not a narcissist. You will reveal because you're introspective. The narcissist will not reveal it because they're not going to go to therapy, or if they do, they're going to use therapy as a way to validate themselves and validate their rightness, instead of really looking at themselves and taking responsibility. That's a huge thing, and huge difference between the empath and the narcissist is the empath is going to take responsibility for what she did. In fact, she's going to take so much responsibility, or he's going to take so much responsibility that he's going to take full responsibility for everything that goes on in the relationship. And she's going to be the one who does all the apology. Or if the apology comes from the narcissistic side, the apology is going to be false. It's going to be not real. And you're going to be able to feel that, because they're going to end up getting really, really uncomfortable in the apology, especially if you press them like, well, what exactly are you apologizing for? And they'll eventually get really uncomfortable because you're asking them to own something they refuse to own because they can't. Their perception will not allow them to do that. Their protection will not allow them to do that. And whether or not that can be broken through, we're just kind of learning more about that. I don't know. I work with empaths because they want help, because they want to heal and they want to help others heal. I think it'd be interesting to work with a narcissist, but if they're not introspective, it's not helpful. So those are ways that you can really kind of discern who's who and what's what, and ways that you can understand your connection to empathy. The key way to heal empathic overload, to heal yourself as an empath, is to work through your traumatic experiences in a holistic manner. Talk therapy is great, but it only will take you to a point, and that point will be really important. And, it's important to go there and work through a lot of things. But then working with the human energy system and releasing the thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and how your body's holding those experiences, like somatic kind of psychotherapy, like I do with my clients, is another level that will take you even deeper and rapidly help you in your healing and help you to gain self-trust and self-awareness in a very rapid way, that will help you heal. It'll help you heal your body too. That was exactly my story with over a dozen illnesses, and a childhood of sexual, physical, emotional abuse, accidents, drowning, near-death experience, and then being struck by lightning. And so I've had a lot to overcome, and I just keep overcoming and helping other people do the same. So if any of this resonates with you, there are two things you can work with me on. One is you can work with me one-on-one anywhere in the world that you are. So you can book a free call with me to see if we might be a good fit to work together. And then the other thing is my program called Evolving Intuition, Building Self-Trust for Life, which is a program to help empath recovery. I call it my empath recovery system because it helps therapists, healers, coaches, and conscious health practitioners to heal empathic overload by developing their intuition. And then they learn my whole person integration technique, which is my emotional release process that helps to release the energy, the emotional energy, thoughts, feelings, and negative core beliefs from the body so that the body can do what it is meant to do. It can heal itself. And then I also help with nutrition, to help people heal, support the body to heal itself while you're going through that process. So if that sounds interesting to you, then please book a free call with me. You can apply for the program, Evolving Intuition, Building Self-Trust for Life, or you can work with me one-on-one. The links are below in the description. Please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for listening to this video. I am Dr. Meg Haworth, and I hope this information will help you get well.